This one thing will determine if you're going to be successful or not. This one thing and this one habit will totally shape the trajectory of your life. And so if you're not doing this habit, then you are missing an opportunity to be successful and an opportunity to win at life. So, what is this habit? Well, it's really not that much of a secret. It's reading. Reading books is probably the number one thing that you can do that will shape your mindset and will set the path for your life. Because once you learn and actually understand something, you can't you can't like unlearn it. Well, I mean you can, but it's very challenging. Like once you see something in a different perspective, you can't unsee it. And so the more that you can open up your perspective and change your beliefs, the more free your mind becomes, the more potential you have, and the more like opportunity you see too. So, does it matter what type of books you read? I think it does because, if you're reading nonfiction books that involve stories and plots, I mean these can be beneficial and these can help you learn, but it's fictional. It's not real. It's a story that someone created, and that's really all that a story is a story. But I mean, if the story can relate to your own life and where you want to go, and it paints a picture of that, then it can be helpful. It definitely can't hurt. But I think there are specific types of books that you should read, which are books that will help you get to where you want to go, that will open up your mind. Books are like basically like mentors. Books are like your mentor. And if you read a book from a person who is in the position that you want to be in, and they sort of put, like 150 to 300 pages of their life and their story, a real story, a real life story of this person and their perspective of their life and how they got to the point where they're at. I mean, I guess that's more of like a biography, but if they at least even open you up to their perspective or their insight, then like switches, light bulbs turn on, and it's hard to explain. It's hard to explain. The only real way you can know what I'm talking about is if you read a good book that changes your perspective. You know, if you don't believe that financial freedom is possible, or you believe that it's just for, the select individuals and it's just for those guys, or it's just for other people, it's for the lucky people, then that just means that you're missing, it just means that you're lacking insight, just means that you're lacking knowledge. There's a knowledge gap from what you know to what actually is possible. So, this is my philosophical talk on books, and yeah, I can go on all day about really the importance of reading and learning. The Actually, while I'm talking about this, I'm just gonna briefly mention three books that have changed my life. The first one is The Compound Effect. And originally, I was going to talk about the top three books that have changed my life, but I felt like that was going to be a little cringy and it didn't feel like it would be as helpful as what I'm talking about now. But while I'm on this, yeah, the compound effect, that has changed my life because it helped me understand what the compound effect is, and it helped me understand the importance of making small changes consistently, and where that where your life path will head from making small changes. So like if you have bad spending habits and you make small changes to get your spending habits better, well, the trajectory of your life totally changes. And that this book helped me understand that. And so honestly, by knowing that and being aware of that, I probably won't ever go back to, I won't ever not be aware of that. Another book that has changed my life is The Great Rat Race Escape by MJ DeMarco. And this is probably the number one book that has changed my life. I'm actually rereading it again just because there is so much, like, so much knowledge in there and so much to actually like learn about that I need to read it again just so I can really understand it. And MJ DeMarco explains what the rat race is, and the rat race is it's consumer America. It's it's the consumer world. It's sort of not being aware of your spending and consumption and being aware of how you got to where you're at, being aware of the script that is around you. The script that is around you is go to school, go to college, get a good education, find the right woman, marry her, get a mortgage, and work your job for 40 years, retire, and that's your life. That's the script that we've been given. But what he talks about is that you don't have to live by this script because the script typically makes you broke. It makes you dependent on the system. So it sort of transitions your mind from you consuming this script to you being aware of the things that have led you to the point where you're at, and you now transitioning into a an independent thinker, someone who is producing and not consuming. But anyways, I'm just going on a rant right now. Hopefully you got some value out of this. I really do recommend these books, The Compound Effect and The Great Rat Race Escape. And another one that I'm not going to summarize, but I do recommend that really changed my life is How to Win Friends and Influence People. You've probably heard this one already, but that one is by Dale Carnegie. But read those books and read those books that I recommended and read books in general. Read self-improvement books, read books that are going to get you to the next step, read books that will close that knowledge gap. So hopefully you got some value out of this. Hit that like button and subscribe. Thank you.